Dungeons & Drimbus is rated R for rude language, rough violence, and raunchy humor.
I do declare, here's what happened previously on Dungeons & Drimbus. After their meeting with Saxon, the attorneys head back to the tower before being confronted by Paluman. They manage to talk him down and he heads on his way as they return to the tower to catch their breaths. They learn that several of the squads in the trial decided to also find alternate approaches. Before long, Levi arrives to take them into the massive subterranean complex in the pyramid to Saxon and the matron. As they share information on the other LLC members' actions, Saxon is stirred into furious action and instructs Levi to offer them the final trial immediately, where they must tangle with their pasts and their futures. I do declare, Your Honor is back in session.
Thomas. You suddenly find yourself outside of your apartment in Opula. There is a cold chill on the air. Just in front of you, Tyrannicus walks up to the building entrance. You remember this. It was the night you returned home after obtaining Max's phylactery. Suddenly, you hear a voice. I'm just going to, get a hotel. Nephew, are you sure you wouldn't like to come with me? Spend the night somewhere nicer. We could play Mice and Monsters again. This is one of the last truly free moments you would ever get to have with your uncle. You turned him down. You had to turn him down. You had to enter that apartment building, which would lead to Samir being tied up, which would lead to your callbacks, which would lead to Figglesbottom stealing the phylactery, which would lead you to going to Lep, and a chain of events that escalates and unfolds in ways that may have held some significance at the time, but whose endpoint was impossible to predict. Every little decision, every little sneer and jab, every missed hug and laugh, they all lead to now, to the skeleton of Thomas Phelps undergoing this trial, the fate of your continent hanging in the balance. A weight you now bear without your uncle. Perhaps none of it would have ever come to pass if you simply went with him to enjoy a game of Mice and Monsters. You look into his eyes now. A deep blue, much like you remember your mother's. Nephew?
Hi.
So would you like to come with me?
Oh. Wow. I would. Yes.
All right. Then.
Well, wait. Should I? This is in my head now. I'm like, oh, do I go? This is the trial. Do I say no, even though I really, really, really want to? Oh, Bahamut?
Bahamut does not seem to be answering.
Damn it. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'll go. No harm in going.
Great. No need to spend the night in that dingy apartment. Too many shadows there. Yes.
Right.
All right. Thomas, are you choosing to go with your uncle instead of turning him down as you once did?
No. Hold on. This isn't right.
What?
Uncle, I can't go with you.
What? Why not? I'm sorry. Yes, of course. Silly me. Why would you want to?
No, yes, Uncle. Listen.
No, it's fine. It's fine, nephew. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go find a hotel.
Uncle,
and he turns and walks down the sidewalk.
I'm sorry,
Barbara.
You're going to do just fine, Bobs.
The voice whispers in your ear, Barbara, before Hagatha pulls you in for a deep kiss. You look into her vibrant purple eyes. You remember this gaze, the intensity behind it. This is the last time you saw Haggy in the flesh. In a short while, you will walk out the door of the lighthouse to Los Marineros, never to return to her.
How are you feeling, dear?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
You're going to be fine.
How do you know that? How do you know that? You don't know that. And Barb is like looking around, like with like she just can't she can't make eye contact with Haggy right now, and like she just can't believe that she's back in the lighthouse, basically.
I do know that.
And at this point, Rio, one of your cats, jumps into Haggy's arms and she begins to pet it.
I know that because you and me, dear, together, we can do anything.
Can I ask you a question? A hypothetical question?
Anything.
If something were to happen, on this mission, would you still come and like help me? Would you save me from it?
She hugs you, setting Rio down. And she kind of holds your head against, like nestled between her shoulder and her head. And then she turns her head, kisses you, and she says,
Whatever happens, we can handle it.
And she moves your head back, holding your head in both her hands, looking deep into your eyes. She says,
Just as long as you always come back.
Right.
You look toward the door, knowing you won't come back. Knowing that if you asked, you could stay right here and never have to experience the painful truths you have had to.
Okay. Now's as good a time as any, I guess, right?
She kisses you on the forehead one more time and says,
You're going to be incredible. You know, if you asked, I'd give you the moon, my dear. You know that, right?
And Bob, still not being able to like meet her gaze, will just be looking down, nod, and slowly just start to separate herself from Haggy and like gently push her away and start making towards the door.
And you walk out the door. Viper. Lucky's voice buzzes in your ear.
What are you seeing?
You're lying in the snow, binoculars out, observing the peculiar party. Carla, Rachel, Martin, Kit, Barbara, and Jessica. They climb out of their canoe on the icy waters between Los Marineros and Isla Libre. The strange, tentacled man seems to catch your attention as you overhear his intention to catch a flight. The perfect opening to nab him. An action which invariably leads to his interrogation. To Thomas and Tyrannicus. To capturing Jessica and Barbara. To the play. To Tyrannicus's death. To the solstice. To Richard's death. To getting fired from Lep. The thought of it makes a shame wash over you. One assignment. One call. All leads here. Lucky's voice buzzes again.
Viper?
Sorry, yes. I see one. He's wandered off. I have an opportunity for apprehension.
Okay. Anything to be worried about here? How do you want to proceed?
And she takes a deep breath as she watches the other group walk off and, like, zones out for a little bit. I'll take care of him, and I'll be at the drop zone.
Very good. We'll be waiting for you.
And if it gets to that point, she apprehends him the exact same way as she had before, but as he, like, is paralyzed, she is notably gentler with him, with, like, tying him up and making sure he doesn't, like, bump anything or anything like that, but she apprehends him.
Gary. The carriage rumbles underneath you as Grisabeth lays her head on your shoulder. Giant's Path and your mother's home now lay far behind you as you enter the city of Opula, on your way to see Thomas and Tyrannicus for the first time since leaving after Ostrogon's death. Grisabeth turns to you.
How you feeling, Mr. Mogbile?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm nervous. Worried. Do you think we'll be able to trust them?
We have to.
I guess so. For Calvin, right?
That's right.
Finally, the carriage pulls up to Until Dawn Pond. You now know that behind that door are not just Thomas and Tyrannicus, but Barbara and Jessica as well. Try as you might, the images haunt you. Dot's lifeless corpse, brought to your doorstep by the same woman who killed her. Fighting for your life at the Court of Serenity. Ostrogon's final words, "Never too late," as you dropped through the portal. These are the thoughts that you have never been able to quiet. And yet your son's cries ring louder. You will never be able to reach him without their help. You know that now, too. Or do you? What happens if you just walk away? You never enter that door. You never trust them with your secrets. You go it alone. There are 2 paths before you now, and you can only choose one.
This is it, Gary. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I still go inside.
Jessica, you laugh a deep, genuine laugh that makes your stomach hurt. Next to you is Dot, a now empty bottle or 2 of wine in hand, enjoying your girls' night as the world outside grows dark.
Oh, Jess. Always such a good time when you come around.
I'm so excited to be here too. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I always just thought we should be closer. It makes better for the team, right?
For the team. Yeah.
Well, should we work through another bottle, or would you say it's probably time for some shut-eye?
How about one more bottle? Why not? Girls' night.
Girls' night.
And you all spend the next hour or so enjoying another bottle, laughing, gossiping, occasionally dunking on Thomas. Eventually, Dot decides that it is time for bed. And as Dot retires, you feel a vibration in your purse. Haggy is calling.
Jessica reaches into her purse and pulls out the mirror and answers the call.
Hello, dearie.
Oh, hey there.
How did the case go?
Oh, the case went pretty well. We ended up winning.
Marvelous work, I must say. I'm beyond impressed with all of your work so far.
Thank you.
How do you feel about the group you're working with?
They've got their ups and downs, as anybody would, but they seem to have good heads on their shoulders, very smart, very talented lawyers, and I don't know, it feels like we're kind of starting to become friends, which is also kind of nice.
Marvelous! Now, I've got a teensy problem I need you to help me with.
Sure thing, what's up?
The words ring in your head before she even says them, because the words never left. They have grown louder and louder every day, crescendoing into a deafening roar that shrouds every thought you have, perverses every good intention, and coats every action with a thick layer of oil-like guilt.
Kill the Warforged.
And with that, the mirror goes black.
Jessica puts the mirror back in her purse, and she stares at the wall for a little while, and she's conscious of all the things that have come to pass since then, yeah?
Yes. In fact, as you step out of the bathroom, the dagger lying in your purse, you know that you've replayed this memory many, many, many times since. But it has never smelt, looked, tasted, or felt so real. You gaze upon the wooden door that leads to Dot's room, knowing what occurs inside. You glance around the living space. You see the books, not yet strewn about. The walls, not yet marred with Dot's oil. The Groomsh's brew coffee she'd bought earlier this evening, not yet smeared onto her fingers. Looking to the door, your mind cannot help but fall into a cascade of thoughts. Dot's death. The boy's obsession with H. Outing Monique as one of her agents, the visit to Ostragon, your attempt to banish them at the Court of Serenity, your desperate pleas in the crypt, killing Dot again, Ostragon's lifeless head at your feet, the charred remains of Rabbit Cove, Barbara, Twigs, Kit, Michelle, the raptors, the carnage, the freezing cold, your spellbook burning in the cheese room, your trial, the way Thomas defended you, the way they performed in your play, the way Monique sobbed when Tyrannicus was killed, the way Gary seems to look at you, wishing a terrible fate that even you feel would still not be punishment enough. The endless, floating feeling in the pit of your stomach as you have navigated these last days and weeks, wanting to do good, but feeling so ashamed that you cannot allow yourself to be fully present. The feeling of responsibility to put right what you broke in this world, and yet the urge to be done with it all. It all washes over you, knowing that it does not come to pass if you don't go into that room. And yet, who is to say what would happen instead, without you there to try to rebalance the scales?
Jessica reaches into the purse. She takes out the knife, and she stares at the blade, and she can see a bit of her reflection in it, and she sees a face that she doesn't like looking at, a face that she hasn't liked looking at in a long time. And then the face becomes obscured as her tears start to fall on the blade. She takes a breath, and she wipes the dagger on her skirt, and she heads towards the door. A shaky hand reaches out and grabs the doorknob of the bedroom door, and she just stands there for a moment, and then she looks in the other direction toward the front door of the apartment, and she just stares at that door for a moment. She takes a deep breath, she opens the bedroom door, and she goes inside, tears still streaming down her face as she holds the dagger up and then starts to bring it down as she starts sobbing. I'm sorry! I'm sorry!
Jess, no! Jess! Why?
Thomas, you find yourself somewhere hot. There is a dark orange glow as ash rains down and the heat of flames licks at your forehead. You appear to be within a volcano, standing tall in your full Bahamut form. Time seems to stand still as far off toward the left, you see her, Agatha. She stands before an orb, casting something. You intuitively understand what she's doing. In mere moments, Tiamat will have risen. You are the only one who can cover enough distance to stop her. However, a piercing cry pulls your attention. To your right, perched upon a ledge overlooking the lava, you see your party. Grisabeth, Jessica, Monique, Barbara, and Viper. They stumble back into each other with terror in their eyes. You see they had all been gripping a worn vine. A vine that has snapped. On the other end of that now snapped vine is Gary. He uselessly clutches the makeshift rope in his left hand and Calvin in his right. as he plummets toward the lava below. In mere moments, they will have vanished into the molten earth. You are the only one who can cover enough distance to save them. However, to do so is to hand the LLC their victory. Either Tiamat will be summoned, your friends lost, or you can save them at the expense of justice.
I could do both. I can make it. I could try. Oh God. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Oh man. I'm losing.
The seconds pass by. They feel agonizingly slow as you watch Gary plummet foot by foot by foot into the lava below, and the magic begin to swirl around Hagatha and her orb. Time is running out, Thomas.
We could stop Tiamat still. I could say they don't deserve to die.
What do you do?
I'm going to save them.
You swoop in just in time to grab Gary and Calvin. You clutch them in your claws, flying upward as Hagatha finishes casting the spell, and the blinding light washes over everything. Barbara, a bright light shines in your eyes. An operating light. Then you hear,
"Are you sure about this, Barbara?"
You lie on a steel table as Blue stands over you. Blue orb swirling in what feels like genuine concern. This is the moment you have been waiting for. Your new directive.
I will do what I can, but a directive is not something to be taken lightly. We are as much influenced by it as it is influenced by us. I cannot guarantee what you will become when I make the change you want. Are you willing to take that risk?
Yes, yeah, I think Blue, I think I have to, I have to. Don't I?
He lays a hand on your shoulder and says,
"What would you like it to be?"
I didn't know I got to choose.
That's the point of this, is it not?
Yeah, right, of course. I just, after never really getting to decide for yourself, it's hard to pick, I guess. Now that never had that much freedom. I guess. No.
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 No what?
No. I don't think I would change it.
So you don't want this anymore?
I think by this point we've maybe proven enough that maybe our directives are up to us already. Does that make sense?
So what is your directive, Barbara?
I'm not entirely sure. But that doesn't mean that I won't figure it out along the way. Just like I have been this whole time. Right?
If that is your wish. Or are you just scared?
Honestly, it's probably a mix of both. If I change it now, though, do I lose everything that brought me to this point?
I would guess not, but I don't know.
Okay. No. I mean, yes. We'll do it. We'll do it.
Are you sure?
No, but I have to know what happens.
Okay. Then what would you like it to be?
I think I want it to be... to just be.
All right.
Viper, you are in the heat of battle. Perched on a ledge above a platform floating in a pit of molten lava. This is the moment it has all led to. Tiamat is here. The five-headed dragon lets out an ear-shattering roar. With blindingly bright bursts of energy spouting from each head up into the heavens. Down below, you see what remains of Thomas Phelps. Little more than ash and bone. Gary Barbara, Jessica, and Monique are locked in a battle. Monique and Barbara throwing themselves at a bone devil in a dance of death. Each of the three lunging and sidestepping in turn, narrowly avoiding one another's attacks. Jessica fires off magic missiles at Tiamat, the bolts of energy barely piercing the thick metallic hide as Gary casts a beam from a thick staff. They seem ants next to the gargantuan beast. From up here, it is obvious. The battle has already been lost. If all continues as it is, it will only be a matter of time before your remaining friends succumb to the forces of the LLC and the world falls into darkness. Beside you, perched high on this ledge, is Lucky. He turns to you, tool in hand.
You don't have to do this. Not after all we've put you through already.
What does the tool look like?
It's almost like an orb, like a crystal orb, but it is shaped into kind of a handle that seems like you could bury it into somewhere, and then has a button on the end of the handle.
Lucky, this isn't about Lep anymore. I have to do this.
Are you sure? I don't even know if it'll work. Figs did his best, but...
We have to try. Take care of my family. Please?
What?
Just tell them... tell them I love them.
You don't have to die to be a hero, you know that, right?
I know, but... someone has to today. And she'll... lovingly brush her snakes. And then she'll... jump.
Gary, you walk with hurried steps down the halls of Longreach's palace. Your heart thumps in your chest as you make it to the large, ornate bedroom door. They swing open to reveal the chamber you've spent countless hours in over the last few years, as an even grayer, more wizened yet still jovial Yargan looks toward you. Eye patch now off, bear hat on the table. His labored breaths heave his chest up and down. It does not take a genius to realize he hasn't got much time left.
Ray. I'm glad you could make it, lad.
Of course, Yargan.
He reaches for a flagon of ale that is on the bedside table and drinks it, quite a bit of it spilling down over his gray beard and onto his chest. He says,
I'm surprised I even made it this far. But it's time. I've lived a long life, full of wonderful people. Perhaps it's time I rejoin some of them.
You're the legend in the eyes of people. Many people in this land.
That's all nonsense. Look, lad. I called you here because Longreach is going to need a strong leader to see them through this. Angelina's done a wonderful job with the schools, the businesses. And you've been a great help to me all these years. But as you well know, the struggle never ends. Always some new dilemma. If it's not the winter storms, it's pirates. If it's not pirates, it's another burgeoning plague. But we persevere. I know how much you and your family value your anonymity. Being king is not a quiet life. And you won't get to run away from your problems. Or anyone else's for that matter. I don't want to push this on you if you're not ready to open your heart to it. And the many pains it brings.
I ran away with my family so that I can start my new life the way I want it to. I think this is exactly the kind of opportunity I've been looking for.
Then I can finally die peacefully, knowing Longreach is in good hands. I'll be sure to let Daryl know.
Jessica, you are weary. The battle has gone on for too long, as the heat of the lava enraptures you. Tiamat lay slain, viper in her jaws. There is now but ash on the ground where Thomas once stood. Barb pulls herself up off the ground, left leg severed, oil leaking from a grisly chest wound. Gary pants, coughing blood against a boulder. Before you, Wraith, the bone devil that slew Thomas's parents, now licks Monique's blood off of a long, bony claw. And from the smoke, you hear...
Oh, dearie. You didn't think you could really win, did you?
Hagatha, in full hag form, suddenly zooms toward you, taking you by the neck.
The only thing that made you special was me.
Atop a cliff, you see Figglesbottom, in regenerated form, dragging a screaming Grisabeth down toward you.
No! No!
Gary clutches his staff as he winces, strength draining rapidly. Figglesbottom tosses Grisabeth down in front of a large glass orb, not unlike the one you used at Rabbit Cove. Zephrine Thistle, in all her icy glory, stands before it.
We will be ready to summon her once more shortly.
You feel Hagatha's claws pierce your throat.
And now, you get to watch as the righteous new world comes to be. In another life, I could have had you and Babs by my side. But it's too late for the two of you.
You get the feeling if you are going to take an action, it has to be a quick one, and it has to be right now.
Jessica looks towards the heavens, and she's going to cast Guiding Bolt at Hagatha at her highest level spell slot of 8.
You know what? Don't bother rolling it, because Hagatha, with a wave of her claws, counterspells. And you see as the guiding bolt comes down, it dissipates, and she laughs, she cackles, it reverberates in your skull. As she grabs you, she kind of swings you around to make you look, and she says,
"Get the summoning orb ready."
And you see Zephrine begins to do some sort of ritual in front of the orb as Figglesbottom picks Grisabeth up, and you see this light shoot out of the orb and into Grisabeth.
No. I'll do something. I can do something. I'll try another guiding bolt, but this time aim for the orb.
You cast the guiding bolt down on the orb, and everything goes white.
We're halfway there. This is the halftime ad with Daddy G.
Oh shit! Hey, sorry. I'm just halfway through this episode of the behind-the-scenes show after the Drimbus. God, I love a good peek behind the curtain at my favorite podcast. You know what? Why hoard it? Here, listen in with me.
Done by us. We did that.
God.
You understand?
I went ahead and did the risky thing, and I think it kind of paid off.
It has.
Hey everyone, welcome to After the Drimbus.
Hey, hi, hello. It happened.
Today's session did not go as I expected in a number of ways. I love this session so
This was
much.
great.
I found
Yeah, 100%. This was probably the most peaceful session we've had since we've started this season. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Great performances from you guys. Awesome gameplay decisions, awesome character decisions. Like, I was having just as much fun, and I was just as enthralled seeing how some of your conversations were going as I was to see, like, you know, you guys in action just now. So, good job, everyone. This was This was a big one. This was an important session for
Yeah.
Oh my god.
the trajectory of this campaign.
These are great alone, but paired with the hilarious outtakes too ridiculous for even a Drimbus episode and entire series exploring new games like Beyond D&D, I've got enough Drimbus to keep me going for a while. Not to mention, it's just a good way to support the show. When the world outside feels like it's halfway to ending, it's nice to spend half an hour or so laughing at some cut shenanigans. And you know, very seriously and quite literally, none of this is possible without your, yes, you directly who's hearing these words, your direct support. So, a big thank you to all our patrons: Jerry Benetatos, Queso Loco, Greta and Beignet, Alex Scapes My Ass, Ace Andrews, Regina Russell, Sam Olivos, Jordan Cobb, The Unnamed Rogue, NB Star, Doubtful Guest, Michael Richters, Davis Walden, Denny Dewdrop, Myth Mouse, Callie Wolf, Brandon M. Bishop, Bridge, Twiglets, Joanna, Stan Sitzman, Scrambles, The Death Dealer, Aaron Adams, Nathan Mesnard, Ruth Anaros, Melissa Rain, Hensational, Butts Aplenty, Normally Me, Dane Kolhoff, Loon, Faust the Heavenly Demonic Monster, David Carlton, Tracy Baby, Elastic Band, Hoodie Gang Sheep, Luke Vermin, MV Carr, Vico Cocorico, Alyssa Barron, and Jan. You make this show what it is. So thank you, and we'll see you all next week.
Barbara, please roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Ah, shit. That is a not natural 20.
Okay. Thomas, Viper, Jessica, Gary, Barbara, and Monique. You come to with a gasp. Feeling as if you are bursting through the surface of a deep lake, gasping for air. As you do, you see the expectant figures of Levi, Saxon, and the matron.
Oh, shit. I don't like Cherry anymore.
Gary, Grisabeth has not yet awoken.
Come on. Grizz isn't waking up.
As you begin to shake her, you see it almost looks like when someone has been pulled out of the water after they're drowning, where like she's kind of coughing, going, and her body is kind of pulsing. And you see the matron closes her eyes. Saxon just kind of looks on stoically, and Levi walks up to you and he says,
She's at war within herself. I'm afraid there's nothing we can do until she can find her own peace.
How long is this gonna go on for?
It will be very difficult for her to awaken.
Can she die from this?
Not from this, but she won't come back.
And at that, you're...
Dude.
Christ, honey, you scared me.
Oh my.
Fuck, those were hard choices. Oh.
She starts crying, kind of, but like also like kissing you, like, oh my god, you're okay. And as you kind of settle in and the tension dissipates a little bit, Levi smiles and says, Congratulations. You are now soldiers of the solstice. With each breath, you can feel the oxygen enriching you. In fact, you feel more in tune with your surroundings and yourself. You feel stronger.
Almost as if we
leveled up.
leveled up.
Wiser, more capable, and more secure. You may now level up.
Oh my
I wasn't done.
Oh, what?
To level 20.
Oh, shit.
We're super daddies.
At this point, Saxon looks and says,
Congratulations. Now let's plan.
Yeah.
You say Hagatha's forming this, potentially an army of these shadow creatures trying to...
you see he's like gripping one of the empty slabs and you see the stones start to crumble under his fingers.
She intends to replace me, so I'm gonna need you all to get there first.
Where is she?
Mount Heartland. We'll be bringing all of the soldiers, but you can get a day's head start.
Sir, who is scheduled to be at this meeting?
All of the LLC members. But now that you're telling me about these shadow things, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that was there. Hagatha's been trying to call the shots for too long. How does she control them? Do you know?
They are almost kind of like a warforge in a way, they are created with an objective, and once they complete that objective, they dissipate.
So it's something that's imbued at wherever they're summoned or created or whatever it is?
Exactly, yes, precisely.
And where is that?
My guess is that this device that we saw in Isla Libre is probably now reassembled and moved to Mount Heartland.
That's not good. If I can get you in, what if you just, blow it all up? Everyone in there, who cares? Cleanse it.
We care because there is a child who has been kidnapped, sir.
A what?
A child has been kidnapped. We don't know why, but Zephrine and... I'm sorry, the other name...
Wraith is the one that took the child.
I fucking hate those two.
Well, sir, if I just grab the child and get out of there, then, yeah, I'd say blow it up.
I have the ability to turn invisible. And I imagine, now that I'm level 20, I'll have the ability to target more than one creature to turn invisible.
Perfect. We can just go invisible, get the kid, get out, and blow it up.
How many people can you do that to, Viper?
I think that, depending on after I get some sleep tonight, I can probably do 3 or 4, I think.
How long does the invisibility last?
It's concentration up to an hour.
Perfect.
But also, if you attack something or if you cast a spell, you will immediately become visible.
All we gotta do is get my son out of there, and then we can blow it up like he said.
Okay, so we infiltrate, invisible, we find the child. How do we kaboom?
I mean, with that kind of magical energy, and within Jessica's mind, words echo from beyond. That kind of magical energy needs to go somewhere.
You just break it. That's all you gotta do.
Okay, there's one issue with that.
What is it?
Someone needs to be there to break it.
I can carve a symbol, a ward, into the thing and have it detonate at my command or under a certain circumstance.
That's lovely.
So it can be left there to then explode later.
We need to find Calvin and carve your ward into this thing in under an hour.
Why don't we do it in stages? Get Calvin out first, then go back in for the invisibility?
That seems to be the safest option.
At least we have the army as backup.
Yeah.
I mean, I can also get out very quickly because I have a couple of teleportation spells as well. So if I need to go alone, that's okay. I'll get out.
You're not going alone.
Jess, what kind of teleportation do you have?
So it would instantly transport me and up to 8 willing creatures of my choice that I can see within range, or a single object that I can see within range to a destination I select.
That's fantastic!
There you go.
You became a squadron for a reason, and you made it this far together. If I were to give you an opinion, I think sticking together might be stronger. But the field presents challenges that we cannot always anticipate. Levi,
Go get them. You see he whispers something and Levi runs off to a higher level for a second. He says,
look, most important thing is we need to know what we're getting ourselves into. I need to know that as well, because I'm not going to put all of our soldiers at risk. So.
And Levi kind of returns and he has these necklaces. He goes,
these stones will allow us to communicate at distance.
Nice.
Use these to report back. Head to the spire first. Get as much intel as you can. Use that spyglass. And then adjust your plan based on your intel. Yeah?
Aye, aye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thomas, what does Bahamut know of Tiamat's abilities? Things we can be prepared for, things that will have no use against her, so we shouldn't expel our energy into those things?
I don't know. Knock, knock. Bahamut. You know any of those things?
You see, he says, I don't know, knock, knock, and he just collapses onto the floor, like, as he meditates to go.
Really good at that, collapsing.
And he says, oh, Thomas, I wanted to talk to you.
Okay, about Tiamat?
Yes.
Great.
And also the others. Remember our plan. You can't just blow them up.
Right. What is the plan again?
You said you wanted to bring her to justice, did you not?
Right, so we're not gonna kill her, but we need to know weaknesses.
Okay, well, I don't let Tiamat happen, is what I'm saying.
I see.
So, yes. But if Tiamat were to come about, it would not be pretty. Tiamat is immune to acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. She also cannot be blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, poisoned, or stunned.
So everything.
I didn't hear radiant damage on that list. I'm ready.
You guys, as Bahamut has begun to grow in power, especially Jessica, you hear it the most. But every time Thomas does this, especially lately, you begin to hear their conversation like almost as if Thomas's bones are like a speaker. You can't hear it well, but it sounds like hearing a movie in your neighbor's apartment.
Wait. You want to take her to court? What, so if Tiamat comes to real life, you're going to take her to court too?
I'm on the phone! Everyone shut up!
Basically, he says,
You have access to my full powers.
Great. Cool. All right. Message received. I will bid you adieu for now. Bye.
As Thomas comes back, he just sees Jessica has like knelt over like Thomas's body and goes, "Oh my goodness, I hear you, oh great Bahamut. Thank you for your blessings and your knowledge. We appreciate you."
Get out of here. Get out of here. Push her off. Go. Get away. It's my brain. All right. So here's the plan, gang. Don't let Tiamat happen. The end.
Obviously.
Great.
Wow.
All right.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Crazy.
Sir, are you familiar with the Kingdom of Longreach?
Vaguely, but yes.
Perhaps their army could assist us.
I could send word to King Rengar.
King Rengar is no longer in charge, sir.
Oh? Who is?
I believe it is Yargan Rockbottom.
He's still alive.
Of course. Man's a legend.
Very well. I'll write to Yargan. The letter from here to Longreach is gonna take at least a day to get there.
Sir, sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but do you need a glass of water? You seem to be coughing quite a bit.
It seems we're all passing something around. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Shit. All right.
Okay, yep. And it's time to go. It's time to leave.
No, it's not time to go.
Oh my God.
Elizabeth immediately pulls her shirt up over her nose and mouth.
It's just you. Is anybody else?
Levi has a little bit of a something.
Sir, what you have is a flu, the Maya flu. It's very deadly. It's been spreading around. Actually, Longreach has a cure, so you definitely want to get in contact with them.
You mean the Maya flu that goes around every year, like the mild one?
No, more severe.
Motherfuck, how do you know this?
Because I was there where it's being constructed. There was a takeover at Longreach. It was a little dicey. That's why you lost King Rengar, and now there's a new king. But it's all good. They made the cure. They're distributing it as they can. They'd be happy to send you some.
Longreach, that's supposed to be Zephyrin's domain.
Zephyrin was not exactly defeated. I did confront her.
So she was there. She's behind this?
Her and Wraith were there, sir.
And she sent it to my fucking people!
Yes, sir.
Levi, take this down. We need one squadron. Send out to Isla Libre just to make it small. A small squadron. We just gotta make sure there's nothing left there. And we're gonna send the fastest squadron we have to Longreach. Send them by air.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
All right. You wouldn't happen to have any faster way to communicate with Longreach, would you?
I do. Where's Levi?
I'm right here. What's up?
Levi, this paper is instant transmission. Here's a pen. Hey, Yargan. He starts writing.
You see, someone was already doodling on the pad, and they were drawing like a pirate ship with someone who seems to be wielding a fork. Oh. And then as you start writing, it all gets very quickly erased.
Hey, Yargan, it's R. I've teamed up with the soldiers of the Solstice. I'm handing the pad to their advisor. We need help ASAP. And he's going to hand the page and the pen to Levi. Right, tell him everything you got to... What your boss just said.
You see he like circles it, and then he draws like little icons. He draws a thumbs up, he draws exclamation marks, and he draws a heart like next to it.
Tell him everything. Tell him you need an army. Tell him they need a cure, stat, everything.
And you see Levi immediately gets to writing on the pad. He says, "Thank you."
And when you're done, I'd like it back, please.
All right. I have a guy I can send to meet you with equipment. Tell me what you need.
Invisibility cloaks.
I could use some daggers that are magical.
Any kind of, ejecto seat escape kind of trick or warp key thing he can muster.
I did like my scimitar. That shit was actually pretty good. But no, let's keep it. Let me get a long sword, please. Let me go ahead and just long sword and shield. Take it back to the old days.
Yeah, I'm taking all of your desires, your wish list right now. I don't know what this guy can whip up in the matter of a day or two, but anyone else need magical weapons?
Oh, sir, do you have a weapon appraisal person?
I built my first business on that. What do you need appraised? Anyone have any questions? What's up?
This has he takes out the sword off his back.
The rapier that Gary gave you?
Yeah. This has a magical ability. I don't know what it is, but I know it has something.
He holds it up and he begins kind of like swirling it around. Wow. And you see he has really good form, actually, with the weapon.
It has a slight magical enchantment. Essentially helps anyone with decent aim become someone with great aim.
Basically, the rapier has +2 to it to hit, and it has an increased crit range. So anything from a 17 to a 20 counts as a crit.
Oh my God.
Here, take my coat.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I don't think it's gonna fit me.
No. I want it back. It does something. Figure it out.
Oh,
God, Thomas.
Get on it.
Hey!
And, no, he like steps to you.
He goes, who do you think you're talking to?
He takes your armor and he goes, oh, fucking ungrateful ass. And he's kind of like holding it in his hands and kind of like stretching it and poking at it. He goes,
well, if I had to guess, this is not only giving you increased protection, it's also pretty resistant to any sort of non-magical attacks. Look.
And he grabs like a knife and runs it across, and you see it leaves like an indent in the leather, but then it kind of plumps back up almost like it's self-healing.
Ooh.
Which mechanically means that this will increase your armor class by 2.
Oh, wow.
And is resistant to non-magical physical attacks.
Nice.
So I do think that if we could get magically enhanced armor as well, just an upgrade of sorts, that can't hurt.
Mother, can you take their measurements real quick?
And you see the matron comes up and she goes, I've been waiting for this. And pulls out like a little tape measure and kind of is coming around to all of you taking your measurements.
Not me, ma'am. Any armor will slow me down.
Oh my goodness.
However, maybe some shoes that can muffle footsteps.
Okay, she measures your foot. Seeing how long your foot is, goes, oh wow.
Can I also just put in an order? I would love, it might be a little vain, but a little outfit. Let's do it's just a black dress. Black dress, red hair, black heels if you have them. I run better in heels. Okay.
Oh, okay. No more modification.
Fine.
Oh, question. I got a gift from someone. Do any of you like tea?
Oh, I enjoy a good cuppa.
Yeah.
Here, I fucking hate tea.
This old thing, yeah, here, take it.
And she hands a teapot.
Oh.
Every day at 4 p.m. that shit whistles loud as fuck. And it will not stop whistling until it's been poured. It's really fun. I don't even put water in it. It just brews tea on its own.
How delightful.
I'm actually really excited. Me and Jack, everyone's a tea drinker now. Just a heads up. 4 o'clock on the dot.
For the listeners at home, this item was created by one of our patrons. If you would like to create an item for the characters to use on Dungeons & Drimbus, go to patreon.com/Drimbus and become a member today.
Last call. Anything else?
Oh, do the horses want anything?
Tony kind of shows his horseshoe, like asking for new shoes.
Oh.
All right, horseshoes. Yeah, you got it. All right. Are we happy?
Very.
It's a wish list, so, like, I'm gonna do what I can, but
right,
it really depends on what this guy is available to him.
All right, Father, I think we're good. The Army of Longreach said that they would head as quickly as they could towards the Heartland. They should be arriving around the same time as us. And they're sending as much antidote as they can. They're gonna bring it with them.
All right.
Okay, you finished with that? Could I have that back?
Yeah, here you go. And Levi hands it back to you.
Thank you.
And he goes, all right.
You all set?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I got a hag to fuck up.
Hey now.
Heck yeah.
On the way out, Bob just wanted to tell Levi, hey, by the way, you did a great job. Keep it up.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Good luck. I hope you don't die.
That makes one of us. Boom. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. It's over. Bye.
This has been Your Honor. Your Honor features the vocal talents of Nicholas Benetatos as Gary Mogbile, Amanda Fernandez-Acosta as Barbara, Nicholas Palazzo as Thomas Phelps, Michael Pisani as Jessica Feltcher, and Hannah Schooner as Viper. The rest of the world is voiced by your DM, Giancarlo Herrera, with editing by Hannah Schooner and Giancarlo Herrera, and sound design by Giancarlo Herrera. If you'd like to support the show, consider checking out the links in the show notes, or go to patreon.com/Drimbus, where you can get access to hours of bonus content, exclusive merch, the chance to play with the crew, or submit items to the show, or have NPCs named after you. Oh, and don't forget to leave a review or make a post using #Drimbus to be entered for the chance to win a free Dungeons & Drimbus sticker. Thank you all so much for listening, and I do declare we'll see you all next week.